Atlantic Ocean, upon me hills, to country, to educate, elevate, and promote. Yeah, focus on Liberia, for Liberia, Liberia, for Liberia, yeah. From Monday to Sunday. From Monday to Sunday, it's focused on Liberia. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information. Talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hey, everybody. This is one more edition. We're bringing you live from the nation's capital of breaking news in our beloved homeland. I'd like to welcome to the show our co-panelists. Jeremiah, how you doing? Jeremiah Mulbah?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you too?
Very good, very good. I hope y'all doing well in the place there. Everything is. We want to hear all the new and sweet gossip that you got for us today.
Certainly.
And of course, my partner in crime, Mr. the Unrepenting Sedition, Mr. Jerome Gayman.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me, guys. Do us a favor, share this show. This is a new concept that we like. Before we get to the real talk show on Sundays and the weekends, we will have breaking news twice a week, where Mr. Mulbah will be on the ground giving on that hearsay, they say, but actually as it happens, factual. You can get involved by calling, by texting, by getting involved. Let's make this happen. You need to get the breaking news before it gets to the weekend. Thank you very much for having me.
Excellent. So let's hit it off right away. In the news, we hear this thing, my people. The man that was accused of trying to kill his girlfriend by the name of Jeremiah, what's his name? Jeremiah. Yes, the American. The court has acquitted him from murder. What are you hearing about this thing, Jeremiah? You got that you look like that your namesake. I think they call him. No, his name was.
His name is Lucas.
Lucas
Richard. Yeah.
Yes. So what the latest? Wait now. What's going on? How did this man get acquitted? What happened?
So on yesterday, the presiding judge of criminal court B, Nelson Chinel, found the American missionary Lucas Richard not guilty for the crimes of criminal attempt to commit murder and aggravated assault in the case involving the defendant, Miss Jessica Lloyd. As you may be aware, on December the 14th, 2023, the grand jury must County indicted the defendant with a commission of the crime of aggravated assault and
Mhm.
criminal attempt to commit murder.
Okay.
On the 17th of last month, that was last year, April, at the Temple of Justice in Mulbah. So the judge disclosed that the victim, Jessica Law, told the court in her testimony that the defendant did not do her any harm contrary to media report. Yeah, so when the news came out that he wanted to kill her, that was the report that we took because uh, we took the story and then we even went at the police station when you were arrested. We saw the cut on her neck. We also visited her at the hospital as well. But in her testimony, she admitted to the judge that Lucas Richard did not do anything to harm her. So I think it
Mm.
was from that point. Yes, I think it was from that point that
Oh,
they have to set him free because the defendant as well already caught the case. People may say,
wait now, wait now. They arrested the man on.
yeah,
First of all, what tipped off the police to go arrest the man? First of all, did they because you said the woman, from what the woman said, did she reported the case, the incident to the police?
it was an angry crowd because when the incident happened around the Seaport Bridge area,
Okay.
some crowd have to uh, quickly rush her first at the and later the American guy was being taken at one of the depots here
Mhm.
and forwarded to court later on. Uh, because the issue is you could see the cutting mark on her neck, and based on the police report, that was an attempted murder. But in her testimony, testifying to the court, she made it clear to the judge that the American guy did not do anything to harm
Okay,
her.
so then how did she sustain the lacerations on her neck?
Well, that's the biggest question that all of us are asking. I don't know is it is because of love she she want to protect the American guy, or it is because of money she want to protect the American guy, but she the judge said they couldn't find anything substantial
Like,
in her
like
testimony
she
because she
was,
already admitted
so so they was she paid off? Was she given hush money?
that I can't authenticate that. I don't want to believe, but again I would say maybe she still love the American guy, and maybe she still want to continue life with him. So
Huh.
she had
Oh,
all the
wait a minute. Is that not the same woman who were going after him after the trial, yelling at him, say he would not live 24 hours? Isn't that the same woman?
yes. That was her and family members as well. Some members came at the Temple of Joy. They start to say all kinds of things because one thing they said they don't have interest in the justice system. The justice system was not fair to them,
Who said
especially
that? Who
when the
said that?
relatives, some of her
That-
relatives, Jessica Lloyd relative, because lots of them were at the court yesterday. Lots of them were there and they were crying. Some were,
But she
complaining
herself
about
said the
how,
man didn't do it. Well,
yeah,
what they want the court to do?
that's it. That's why sometimes you have to be very careful because whatever you say at the court or outside the court, it can be used against you. Like the police usually say, you have to be quiet because anything you say, it will be used against you in the court of law. So, according to her own She said that was not, he did not do anything wrong to her.
Wow.
So based
Mr.
upon
Gay,
that particular thing, they have to actually let him go.
Mr. Gayman, let me can bring you in for this analysis. The crowd jumped on the man, said the man were trying to kill again. Mob violence, mob justice. They brought him into the police station. Then the woman testifies that the man didn't do anything to her. Then she turned around and starts after the trial, after he's acquitted and going free. She gets after him, say he would pay for what he did to her and all that sort of thing. I mean, it was floating on social media how she was all, vehement about that he would pay for what he did to her. What do you make of this, man?
Thank you very much, Mr. Eastman. This is a clear-cut case of our judicial system being compromised. You've been seeing lately the United States being putting sanction on folks. You've seen in the past 5 years the United States being very critical of the judges, quoting them one by one. And most of these judges, the United States have threatened that most of them are not fit to be judges. So nobody wants to cross the United States. This is what this is all about. First of all, in judicial prudence, you and I know physical evidence is more powerful than anything else. We had the murder weapon. The gentleman was seen with a knife. He admitted he had a knife. He admitted he had a woman in his car. He admitted he took the woman to the place. He admitted to everything, admitted to the whole relationship and everything else. A woman who is traumatized, okay, who just had a life-changing experience, out-of-body experience, have PSD, post-traumatic PSD, right? Post-traumatic stress syndrome, PTSD. Okay, here is a woman who just saw death, just came from the death door. Okay, you expect someone that traumatized to at some point have some disjointed comments, but the evidence, the physical evidence, is what you go by, and the physical evidence, the eyewitnesses. So this is more than just this case. For those of us who have been talking about the War and Economic Crime Court, this is why we say it is a complete fiasco. It will never happen. We told you this when the House wrote the communication, the resolution about War and Economic Crime Court. A lot of folks here were jumping all over the place, and I told you, I said, watch this. It went to the Senate. What did the Senate do? They trashed the bill, and they split it into two. Now it is not War and Economic Crime Court anymore. It is now just War Crime Court. What was the rationale? They are saying the Economic Crime Court will be done domestically. And I sat on this platform and I told you, domestically, we have tried economic crimes. We saw Mr. Edwin Snow. Total evidence of embezzlement from LPRC when he was director. They showed checks, return checks, transfer check, cash check. All of those things are physical evidence. What did the court say? Exactly word for word in verbatim. They said there were lack of evidence, insufficient evidence. My own brother from Grand Bassa County, T. Nelson Williams, was tried. What did the court say verbatim? Lack of insufficient evidence. When Vonnie Sherman was tried, what did the court say? Insufficient evidence until global witness got in and the international community got in. So you see where we headed here. I am telling you that this economic crime or anything that is domestically based is something that we take. Now let's go to the case here. For those of you, Mr. Mulbah wasn't born. But 1977-78, there was a Lebanese man that owned a store in Monrovia that a young man by the name of Joseph Berry.
The store boy.
Yeah, the store boy, they said they choked him to death because they said he stole one candy. And he
Yes.
was eating the candy and they choked him to death. And in the middle of that case, who was his lawyer? I think it was either James A. Pierre or Richard Henry, well, his lawyer. They allowed him to leave the country overnight.
Yeah, I remember that case.
There was never a justice in the country. Same case here. This is a man who almost killed a Liberian citizen. And the same court that let Joseph Berry go is letting this man walk for what? Lack of evidence. This is a charade. It has nothing to do with the evidence, the speech of this woman. As you can tell, after the announcement, the woman was enraged.
Yeah, but let's slow down. Let's take this easy because this thing is very deep. I remember that case, even though they say that well, Kenny wasn't Kenny, he took something else. I
Whatever it
understand
is,
they were
it was not
importing all kind of funny stuff, and
it
that
was,
what
it
he
was,
took.
it was not worth taking the life
Of course not. Nothing is worth the person's life. But you know, just the other day they had they say they captured a stash of drugs. They were tipped off by the U.S. Intelligence agencies. They were tipped off. They had the physical evidence with them, and then
$100 million.
And they still lost the case.
That's correct.
So, you know, if we look at reasons why one of them you give already, insufficient evidence. That's one of the things that can be, but there's not a case with the drugs. Legal technicalities, improper handling of the evidence is another way that you can lose the case. Witness credibility. Some witnesses, like she was she credible when she said the man did not try to attempt to kill her? Defense strategies, you know, even the jury dynamics. Those juries can be paid off, right? And so, you know, we were talking about the big cases that are going on here. They are very keen in jury selection because they don't want a juror who already has a bias. You know, and then there's prosecutorial misconduct. That's another thing that we do. Even the complexity of the case. Why is it a pattern now that these big cases that reach our, jurisprudence, we are failing to win them?
But Mr. Eastman, our judicial system is non-existent. You remember when Ellen, her managing director, I think her name was Miss Parker, went to the bank and withdrew $800,000 cash. What did become of that case? Lack of sufficient evidence. What other evidence do you need when you have the cash? You have the video recording. The woman went there and withdrew the money.
Wow.
Now here we are. Even if you have conflicting testimony, you have a drug of we're talking $100 million drugs. In fact, in most of the cases that the government was prosecuting, there were times, like you said, prosecutorial misconduct. There were times the government that brought the case didn't show up for case. Can you imagine the prosecutor did not show up for the case? And the government, the judges had no other recourse but to throw the case out. This is the kind of judicial system in which we are saying the millions and billions of dollars that have been stolen, we will not let the international community get involved, but we will take care of it. I would say, y'all just deal with the war crime thing and y'all leave everything else with us. So here we are, my friend. Our judicial system is rotten. Nothing in it. You saw, I think Ellen won one case. That case was two guys from the central bank. They said they stole $2,000. And Ellen and the Liberian service, the Liberian judicial system grabbed those four guys found them guilty, paraded them all over the internet. That finally they got one that got away. Can you imagine? You got $100 million that you can't prosecute, but a guy who stole $4,000 and they arrested them and they were carrying them. Oh, look, Mr. Eastman, our system is rotten to the core. There's no other way around this. How can you say a woman whose neck was slashed? You got a weapon. You got eyewitness. You got a woman herself. Even if she's traumatized and cannot even, in this country, a crime of that nature, even if the woman comes and say, I want to drop the kid, the folks will say, no, this is not a crime against you. It's a crime against the state.
Exactly.
If I beat my wife, God forbid, it never happened to my level.
No.
Domestic violence, the woman
Attempted murder.
You know what they say, domestic violence, the wife usually come and say, that's my husband, let's forget it. They still will say no.
Okay. So Jeremiah, part of this case to say the man gave the guy some kind of injection to get rid of the pregnancy, right? That was one of the accusations in the case. What happened to the pregnancy now? What did it make of all of that?
What I don't want to make a story here. I'm not aware of yeah.
Oh, you're not aware of the injection?
Giving injection. Yeah, I want to be fair to what I say here because
right.
I don't want to say something that happened.
Okay.
I've not heard about any other things about him giving injection to their unborn baby. I just hearing that.
Wow.
Yeah, but Mr. Eastman, it is pathetic that let's talk so. America is everything to us. We understand this until we can stand up and say, you know what, America, we respect you, we care about you, everything you do, but we are an independent state. At least our judicial system, if a crime is committed, that person should be held accountable. But to put a fear in judges, I mean, now you go even in the house, okay? In the house and the Senate, people are so scared of this sanction thing that they can barely do anything. Unbelievable. I am telling you.
But Jerome, you know why I don't support that argument? Because everybody knows the only thing you need to fear is to do wrong. If you are being ethical, if you are doing the right thing, you have nothing to fear. I honestly believe that the people who have they have some skeletons in their closet that they're afraid to come out. That is why they're afraid. Because if somebody attempts to kill somebody, even the American law will not back that. Okay? If you do it fairly, if you do it the right way. I don't see how prosecuting somebody fairly would insurmountable evidence that you will be, that you will bear the ire of the U.S. or any other state by doing the things the right way. I think what our problem is we're not straightforward. We are not ethical. We lack the ethics and systematic procedure, transparency, and accountability. That is why they don't trust our judgment in such matters.
Well, Mr. Mulbah, you are on the ground. I don't have to say this, but you as a journalist, you can look at folks just from their body posture, the way they speak, the way they talk. When you go to the Senate and the House, you can feel, I was just in Liberia, you can feel the fear of being sanctioned. It's a new thing. People pick up the phone, you do something with that. Go ahead.
Even to associate with those who are being sanctioned is difficult. People always shying away from them.
Okay, well, let's go on to the next topic there. What you got for us?
Yeah,
It's
just
closely related.
before we go to the next topic, I was saying,
Mm-hmm.
just looking at this case on the surface, you see, relationship matters. Sometimes you have an issue. People in the public will say this is bad. This we need justice. We need this. Other people will be advocating for you. You will leave those people who are advocating for you and go and settle behind. I'm just saying something because of the conflicting, testimony. Who knows whether Jessica, settle with Lucas, uh, through some conversation,
Mm-hmm.
telling her you have to do this, you got to say this. There's an
Yeah.
I got it, there's a reward after this particular
Yes.
process. Who knows that? So most often you see people, suffering, advocating. We need this, we need it, but those you are advocating for, they are not truthful. So then they go at the back and discuss other things. But people always be in a corridor advocating for them. Oh, this is wrong. So we are just looking at the surface, but we don't know what actually happened. Yeah. So the physical evidence is not all of the evidences. There are other things as well the judges look at. Yeah. So we just looking at the surface, but like I said, we are not aware of what went wrong, between
Wow.
those people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
but
the kind of
Mr.
system in the country.
Yeah, well, this is what we are talking about here. Uh, the whole thing is just Liberia. Anyway, let's move to the next because
That is whole thing. And after that,
this is the
Yo,
country.
but hold your thought. Hold your thought because the next topic is it will be related to what you're about to say. Go ahead. The next topic will make you laugh.
Yeah, Mr. Mulbah, go ahead with the next topic.
Okay, so the next topic is CENTAR. CENTAR is the Center for Transparency and Accountability in Liberia. They are emphasized that
Listen, you center.
the country
We get a whole center.
Uh-huh.
Transparency and accountability.
and accountability.
That's correct.
So they are emphasized that the country Liberia have performed poorly over the years in its fight against corruption and also to promote accountability and transparency in the country. So yesterday it was a elaborate program here at Center office in Monrovia,
Big
where
program.
safer society actors, even members from the legislature, House Speaker, Councillor Jonathan Funante Kova was also part of that. So the chairperson for Central, his name is Anderson Miamen. He said they perform poorly over the years, especially when it comes to the fight against corruption. One thing his question was the support to anti-graft institution. He said that's not been coming because if you have anti-graft institutions supported in a country, you have people, being audited. You have people being monitored. But these institutions, anti-graft institutions, are not getting support as well in the country. But it was a bold face yesterday before the speaker that the country had done nothing to fight against corruption. And one thing yesterday, the speaker, we just smiled because these things are politicians. They usually say, he said he is going to ensure that the horse as well be audited. He's going to ensure because they were talking about the issue of corruption, accountability. So he said to begin with, or to begin the process, he's going to institute auditing measures with member of the House of Representatives. So they're going to institute audit that.
Look, Mr. Eastman, go ahead, but this is making me laugh. Go ahead, Mr. Eastman.
It's laughable because, but let me tell you, you just imagine, okay? Imagine you have a group of men, a group of crooks. Then they say, you know what? We're going to have one, but we're creating this body who will be checking on everything. Yeah. You'll be checking on all these things. You think how far will they go? You see, first of all, they don't finance them. That's one of the problem. They don't get the money to run after it. And we have seen what didn't the LACC indict some people and everything? What happened? What happened? So why somebody Mariadish, well, Maria Gia saying we need to stop creating these ministers for decoration because we get so ministry and they're not doing anything. What is this sent out? What is you get LACC, you get GAC, you get sent out, and the cooking still going on. What are we doing?
Look,
come in, man, Mr. Gilman.
Look, the thing is, Liberia is, like I said, I don't know whether it's a country, it's a protectorate, it's a territory. I don't even know what Liberia is. First of all, I have always said it. Any country that has only one law school, and every lawyer in the country graduated from that one law school, and the law school is like a Masonic society, secret society. They got hierarchy. If you graduated from the law school first, I can't argue with you because you are my senior. You are my senior. There's seniority involved. There's no competition. There's no interest to compete. In this country, you find a regular guy from the University of Miami Law School going against a guy from Harvard, a guy from Harvard going against a guy from Yale. You're not only competing for yourself and your client, but your institution, your institution name is also on the line. So you have divergence of ideas. The judges come from different backgrounds. They understand, but everybody in this country comes from this one law school.
Yeah.
Everybody graduated from this one law school. In fact, the late Judge Nambe, there was a corruption case that was going on in the lower court. And the associate justice from the Supreme Court went into that courtroom and sat there. And while the case was ongoing, he called the judge to a conference in the man's own office. This is an associate justice. So you have people coming in, they need jobs. Okay, I just came in, there's no job. How can Fonati Kofa, Speaker Kofa, who just almost died, the fire service, as critical as the fire service is, has no money. The entire services, the fire service in the entire nation, the budget $400,000, $450,000, the entire nation. Then he worried about funding Sintel. What's wrong with these people?
Exactly.
You got, like you said, you got LSCC, you got GAC, you got the other CC, you got all these people that's all be doing. I like the name they get under themselves. They call themselves integrity institutions. Integrity, but they themselves have no integrity whatsoever.
Thank you.
They are not being supported by the government. They've been supported by the Swedish government. Sinta is being supported by the Swedish government.
And what they for
to do what? To do what?
Yeah, but Mr. Eastman,
to monitor.
Mr. Mulbah, what the co-founder he said they need more funding.
Yes.
And that's what he said. So he is in charge of the budget. This is the guy who sets the budget. Remember, all budgetary items in the country initiate start from the House. So this is a man who is not, he's not advocating for his own fire service that almost killed him. But
now that you mentioned something, we have one of our sister shows were on yesterday, and they brought a professional fire service from Boston and a former director of police, well-trained director King, and the guy named Harding, the fire service man, what the name of Harding. He said the people they have put at the top, they don't even know about fighting fire.
Of course.
They're not even trained.
It's an appointment, yes.
So my question is, why are we simply putting people in? Just
Yeah.
what they get
You
asked.
have you have
Uh-huh.
Senator Darrell Dillon, former cameraman, deputy director at Fire Service. A guy that used to hold his phone at the Capitol
He
building
and
to
now
photo
he.
and record
So
video.
do we
He's a deputy director at Fire Service.
so do we expect? I want to ask you something, Jeremiah, since you're on the ground. The people don't know when the people do these things like you say, put a cameraman into the fire. Even the director for fire service know nothing. The man
No,
he
nothing.
was in fire know nothing. The people on the ground, what do they say when they make these kind of appointments? Huh? What do they say? Because they are your money that we're paying them. That the people money, the tax money. What do they say? Is there any time anybody have these discussions that say these people not even appointing people who know the job?
Well, most of the people have said the president is rewarding some of his own. You know, those days in your youthful age, you have some of your booties. You successful. They are not even qualified, but you are to certain capacity. So you just want to help them. So President Bouakai, over the years, got some of his friends that they moved together, they went to school together. Today, he is rewarded them jobs that they are never
Okay.
qualified for.
Jerome, I understand political reward, but will that change the country? Will that rescue the country? Will that help us by rewarding people who don't know the job and giving them job?
Well, this is why, and I'm glad my own sister here, Mayida Gia, she had a disclaimer here. This is like a godmother to me when I came in New Jersey. Her home was my home. When I was in school, she took care of me. Not just me, but all the young men that came, we were in her house. So I know her. She and I were arguing. We used to argue bitterly about the George Weah administration when she said what George Weah was doing, appointing people that were not qualified. These things were wrong, and we needed to bring in somebody more competent. Joseph Walker would have done better. And here we are. What we were saying here is, and you said the same thing too, until we make our own commitment to the nation, nothing will change. You have said this a million times. If you don't bring in professional people, regardless of where they come from, because some of us who were opposed to Joseph Boycott, there were one time he said something, and I said it on my show. If he lives up to this, most of us will be made shame. What did he say? He said, no one political party has monopoly on people to run the country. They have to come from every political party, every county, every persuasion, professionally to run the country. That was what he said, and I said it on my show. If Joseph Waga means this, he will put most of us to shame from the CDC. And you said until that is implemented, we will be spinning our wheel, and here we are spinning our wheels.
Yeah.
How you take a cameraman and
cameraman?
Yeah, cameraman.
Yeah. Deputy,
so then the people hug Bunny. He would take picture when they hug Bunny. Would you take picture?
You know, he got no idea of fire service.
Of course not.
Fire nothing, no idea.
But you make it. Why didn't he have nowhere else to put him, man? And go put him. Do we don't think fire service is important? You know, Jerome and Jeremiah. You know, there's another that harm to putting somebody who doesn't know their job there. You know, and I've visited Liberia several times, and I knew it was going to happen. When you put somebody who doesn't know anything about the profession or in charge, you keep that profession down. That industry, that business is not going to go anywhere because the man who on top doesn't know it, and he will never promote anything good. Number two, all the people, when you know something, you train people under you. You train the people, and they will learn. After 5 years of training, they can become the boss. But the man doesn't know. So he will be there for 5-6 years, and nobody will be trained. Nobody will learn anything because he doesn't know anything. So it's another way of keeping the country down when you do not put professionally trained people. You see,
Right.
professional train other people because they don't want to be there forever. They
Yes.
train people to take that place, but not us. We put people who don't know zero. I went there the other day, and they said they were going to launch 5G. I said, you don't have 4G. You can't launch 5G.
You don't have no G, period.
You ain't get no G. You cannot do it. They didn't want to. Of course, it failed. It didn't work. So all our money, I don't know how much money they spent. We are putting people who do not know the job in charge, and I expected differently for this administration. Really, Jerome, I expected differently. Why are we putting people who don't know the job in charge?
No job in our country is no more about qualification or competency. It's about, this person served me. This person was behind our battle cry. This person used to be behind us. We're campaigning. So about time we reward them jobs. That's how most of the government officials here got jobs, because they fought for the party won. They used to be in the trenches. They did that, but it's not based on qualifications. Some of them know nothing about what they're doing. Some of the ministries, they just occupy the space and nothing is going on.
What's the next topic?
No, okay, before we go, Bob, I want to ask you, because we're supposed to be providing lay advice to Jerome. If that were you won an election, you get all your men that were behind you, what they can say, what they can say, all the chants, all the battle cry.
What is it? I way to.
I way to.
Oh,
I way to.
Yeah.
In South Africa. Oh, I way to. Why they can't say something in Bassa or better? But anyway, play all day. Then you win. What will you do? Because your men are behind you.
Yes.
What would you do? What would you advise them to do?
Listen, I think what President Weah was trying to do at least at the end of his administration, what he suggested, which we knew that President Totman I think started on Totman, but President Tolba made it permanent, was the cadet system, where you flood the system with cadets. It basically is like a training center for every ministry will have, whether it's 200, 300 cadets, whether they're young or not. Their job is to go and learn the job, to learn the basics on the job training. Follow people, see how they do things, and then while you're going to school at the same time, when you're done, they put you into the system. It worked very well. The only reason that it didn't work for the tournament, they were selected in doing this. But at this point, with the population growth and the age of the young folks, we need to flood every ministry, every agency. Put these people there. That's what I would have done. If I have 10,000 young men and women, and they have interest in foreign service, in engineering and public works, or they want to go into the police or the army, the cadet system is the way to go. Okay, while you are at the university or in high school, you got to go through the cadet system because it worked. You may have been a cadet.
Yeah, but they take their family people and they make their all cadet, and some people who know you.
No, but listen, if you are making zero now, $0, and I put you as a cadet, I'm giving you $100, $200 a month until your 3 years or 2 years is over, then you get into the workforce. I think it's acceptable than taking somebody who can barely read and write and make them deputy for administration or operation. Do you know
what will you do? What will
That's
you
what
do
I'm saying.
before the cadet? After the cadet, what is? We need somebody there right now.
No, but listen, you got enough people. You and I know you got enough educated college graduate that don't have training.
You would take UP man, put him there if he get a qualification.
Well, listen, that's the risk we have to take. But then you and I know, like me here, okay, for me to retain my employees and pay them the $22, $23 they're talking about, we have to do the performance review every year. So every year, every employee get this. It's a 20-page paper. They do their own evaluation. And then our HR does their own evaluation. Then they bring these two evaluations together and say, why do you think you deserve 2 or 5 or 10? And we compare it to ours and tell you where you think you got 5, we grade you 2. So we add 5 and 7, 5 and 2 is 7, they split it in half, and you get 3.5. Usually that's how we do it. That determines whether you get a raise or we put you on something called a developmental action plan for 6 months, 12 months. If you don't perform up to par, you will lose your job. You have to do that. But it has to be honest, it has to be fair, it has to be under quality control. If I were president, that is one thing that I will outsource to an international agency. So we take out a bias, bring in an auditor, auditing company to come in and say, you know what, we'll outsource this. You come in and do our evaluation. So they don't say, I'm doing it for sedition or I'm doing it for unity party. If this man is not performing, that's the quality control piece. He needs to go, because here, if I hire you for the first 90 days and you're not doing well, but you got potential, I have to do an action plan to give you another 90 days so we can train you, help you. And if you can't do it now, then we let you go.
Okay, quicker, Jeremiah, for you, you finish winning the election. All you men then be behind you. I will too. Amanda. Now they see my man with one job. What will you do? You the president now. What will you do? Jeremiah, we can't hear you.
You're muted.
Okay. So not everything is job or reward should be job. There are other opportunities that can be provided, especially. So you want job. What are you bringing on the table? Like we usually say here, what are you bringing on the table? What you have strength in? Come and explain to us where are your strengths, so we can
battle crab.
Remember we were behind you. Remember when we were behind you? Remember we were down there behind you.
You know,
Mr. Mulbah, if I'm coming to you,
we have to set precedent.
Yeah, but I'm coming to you. Mulbah Gamura. I've been saying it all year now. You know, we're going to happen to your Mura. You're going to hire me now. I'm the one singing the Mura thing now.
No, but what I'm doing for you is also a good thing, because I don't want to lead you to doing the wrong thing.
That's correct.
If I reward you because you sound battle cry behind me, and I pull you to places, for example, I take you and carry you to health ministry, and then somebody is seriously sick, then you go there, you start singing battle cry. You know, I have ministry. You don't do battle cry there. It's a serious risk, and that's what's happening.
You know, Mr. Mulbah, before we go to the next topic here, and this one also for you, Mr. Eastman.
Okay.
Ellen Johnson, well, not Ellen, Emma Sawyer in the old Constitution, I think under Ellen or somebody, they developed a new agency they call Good Governance Commission. Good Governance Commission was the commission that will make sure that government works, that the people are trained. What are they? Tell me, who ever heard about Good Governance Commission, even though they're getting some of the highest salaries?
Look at
Oh, yes. Emma Sawyer was the first chair of that committee and this and that. My own mentor, Deacon Carlos, still works in that area. These people are getting huge salary. Mr. Mulbah, tell me, what is it that good governance is supposed to do that GSA is not doing, that LACC is not doing, that GACC is not doing, how they call the other people?
the legislature, that a job.
Tell
The
me,
legislature.
what is this good commission thing?
So just get people, seated to places and just getting free money, and they are not even doing the work for what they were entrusted to do. So these are things we continue to see it in the country. Like somebody said, we got too many ministries and agencies in the country. Some are not even functioning, but on a daily basis, you see salaries. Agency, yeah. You have one ministry. You say Ministry of Information, Culture, Affairs, and Tourism. You blend everything together, but you can't see anything. they only focus on the information aspect. You don't see anything to do about tourism in the country, but they focus just
Okay,
information. When they do this, they
okay,
go and you know.
excellent. So you see, Jerome, the solution is very evident. We see it every day. You have to measure what they do. What they at the end of halfway, where you did this year? Oh, we do nothing. Oh, say, well, go sit down. Go sit down somewhere. Go home. You have to measure these people' performance. If there's no performance measurement, then you will not get results. Okay, but I know we've spent good time on this. What's the next topic, and Jeremiah?
Well, recently a female was killed at Bannerville Junction. Her name is Amanda Nebo. She was a member of the Liberia Female Law Enforcement Officers, and she was assigned at the Ministry of Justice. So, on her way back from work, while trying to go home, right at Bannerville Junction, some criminals, disadvantaged youth, stop her to give the bag that she had with her because her refusal. They have to choke her multiple times. They have to stab her multiple times with a lot of instruments, and she died. Yeah.
Wow.
So the Liberia Female Law Enforcement Association, they are calling for speedy investigation in the process. Recently, the police inspector general Gregory Como had a press conference that one person have been arrested. One of the suspects have been arrested, and investigation still ongoing. Bannerville Junction is one of the dangerous spots. They have police officers assigned at that place, but when criminals are around stealing from people or doing bad things, those police officers are seated and they don't attend to doing anything. They
Hmm.
are all around in the place. Yes, broad day, you see criminal hijacking people, but the police will
Right.
always be in that area and they
But
don't do
wait
any
now.
other thing.
I
And you
heard
have
something
citizens.
today.
Mm,
Sorry to interrupt you because I know we're running. I heard something today. They said the motorbike boy come in strike. You know, we get millions, almost 1 million motorbike in the country. And I heard they had a meeting. They said because they told them restricted from certain streets.
right, right. So it was due to the death of this lady that the police, I just said, he had a meeting with the motorcyclists head, and they have agreed that they're going to have a curfew. You're going to ride your motorbike to set it out. They will not allow you to ride motorbike all through the night. You're going to be restricted now. And you're going to have certain route to plot. So you'll not just be passing, around like in central Monrovia, there's going to be a restriction. Motorcycle will not be allowed to plot a certain part of central Monrovia. And also the curfew going to be something that they're going to take very seriously because if you are caught, maybe, for example, all motorcyclists should leave the street from from the morning to 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. If you are caught after that time, and then they're going to have you arrested. So I think that's where they have come with a disagreement. They are planning now to protest because they are saying to have them restricted, curfew, and telling them not to apply a certain route would not be good for them as well.
Hmm.
So,
You
like I
heard
was
the
saying,
uh, go ahead.
yes, it's like I was saying, that place is very risky, and you have police officers who are assigned there broad day. Criminals are hijacking people, and the guys are seated, and
Hmm.
nothing is being done. When these guys are arrested, as soon you look, they release them. The guys are back in the street. So citizens, people who are even selling when they see those guys hijacking people broad day, they are even afraid because you sitting and you want to put your money into what is going on. Sometimes the guys get angry and come and harm you. So it's very risky. The junction, Barnabas Junction, is one of the riskiest area
Right.
on the Somalia Drive.
Jerome, I mean, these guys were very animated today. They said we elected Joseph Buckeye so he could do this, so he could do that, and now they come and restrict how we eat. We don't want to be wayward gentlemen. They seem like a very agitated group. I don't know if you caught whiff of that today.
Yeah, you know, this is why in politics, you know, politicians will say, or we want to say wherever to get elected. But in a sophisticated society like the United States, all they can do is punish you at the ballot box. But
Mm-hmm.
in a society where illiteracy is at the highest peak, where our people are not cultured, you promise that when you get elected, you will get these Zogos off the street. In fact, your first 90 days, there will be 10,000 positions for young people to get off the street, and you will do this, you will do that. And 90 days, I mean, the people were looking for that 10,000 positions for these people. At least people are saying it will be one, even if it 3,000 in Montserrat, but 2,000 each of the different counties, or 1,000. If you take 1,000 Zogos or underprivileged youth from Grand Bassa County and put them on the job or in rehab, you know, you are actually making a major step. So when the President Walker said he was going to, for 90 days, 10,000 of these people were going to get off the street. They were going to have computer literacy program, computer training, and all this stuff. The people were hyped. Now here we are, nobody talking about them. In fact, we didn't see anything in the budget about rehabilitation of significance to say anything. All the money went to salary. The last time the president appointed a board, I think the list was 44 people on one list. And what was very, very interesting on that list was on, I think last week, Monday, or the week before, Imam Krai criticized the Boyka government that if you are going to do asset recovery and you don't go all the way back to 2006, the beginning, at least 2006, beginning of when the windfall of money were coming into the country, and you start with 2018, 2019, then you are not serious. What did we see? 5 days after he made that pronouncement, Joseph Boyka appointed him in his government. Reverend Reeves from the Providence Baptist Church, that was an advocate of the poor, he also was appointed in the government. All the imams and preachers, these are folks that we consider the moral compass of the nation.
Mm-hmm.
All of these are now hired in the government. So basically, he has bought them all out. I thought of all people, Imam Krai will have declined, or Reverend Reeves will have declined. But they all accepted his position with the corresponding pay or perks that go with it. So who are we now? Like somebody wrote here, where is the gender ministry that used to be in the street? Everything something happy, true or false, for rape, for everything. The gender minister was everywhere. The ministry concerned women, advocate for women, they were everywhere. What is happening? A law enforcement lady was killed. Like the man said, broad daylight. Okay? A prominent woman got killed. Broad daylight. Nobody saying anything. Instead, they're saying the government should do all they can to do this. So, my brother, it is one of those things. We miss the, Michael Francis, when Bishop Francis were here, he said, when I'm no longer here, you will miss me. We thought it was a joke. But this was a man that couldn't be bought. Nobody would shut him up. Even with gun to his head during the Taylor time, he was vulgar. Okay? The late Kafuma, former, I think his name was, these are people, credible people threatened them, but they stood their ground. Today, all of our moral people are being bought, and they accept. Dr. Reeves, a very good friend of mine from the Providence Baptist Church, he ran for the office of president. He had all the great ideas. He was a human advocate, human rights advocate, women's advocate, children advocate. All of a sudden, I see the list that he has not been appointed to some board, and all these people. So there's nobody. So President Joseph Boyka is going back to what he knows. During the Tubman and Talbot era and Doe era, that's what you do. You go and appoint the opposition, give him a job, and you shut him up. And that's why. So we are returning to the old. There's nothing new here.
Wow. Jerome and Jeremiah, I don't know what we will do, but what we may do is just keep on exposing it and offer solutions. Jeremiah, what else you got for us today?
Oh, his phone is buffering. You know, the internet service back home. He's basically. I think we should close it. What is it, 2 o'clock? Oh, it's after 2. I think he is gone. Take him off and see, maybe he will come back in.
Okay,
yeah.
Let me try to. I'll remove him.
Let's start closing that. Okay.
But you know, we'll start closing. But this is an interesting comment from Francis Wilson. You guys are as unserious as your government. Empty talk, big jokes. The idiot contingent that just left were highly applauded and revered by certain panelists. So your credibility is shot. You're laughing and joking about the disaster that Liberia has become, with government officials that make more money than American counterparts, that they are begging for money. Stop laughing. This crap is not funny.
Francis, I think Francis, Francis, yourself, you have no credibility. Your credibility is shot because all you need to do, you know that I am a supporter of the CDC and the pro-poor government. You need to address me directly because I was here that advocated. If I am the one that you want to talk to, the way for Liberia to be what it's supposed to be is for us to be honest and direct without insult. I have supported the pro-poor government from day one to the end. If you want to talk to me about it, just come out and say it. This is how our country will be what we want it to be. We should not hide behind titles. We should not hide behind the fluency or how we write. Let's be honest. If Jimmy Eastman said something that was wrong and you can prove it, take him to task. Okay. If I said something wrong, then that you know was wrong, take me to task. Do not say some of you were sitting here. No. Now you are accusing Jimmy Eastman, you were accusing Mulbah, who was sitting here. I supported CDC. Mr. Eastman have never supported any particular government to the point where we call him talk so and talk so. He criticizes when he has to, he praises when he has to. So it's not him. If you know that I supported the PR, another PR, the CDC government, I am a supporter of the pro-poor government. I believe in the document. They did some work on it. That document could not have been implemented in 6 years. Yes, there were some errors. We didn't have the technocrats to carry it out, but that's what it is. But it was never this bad. And how do we address them? We address them as we see them. It doesn't mean because I supported the CDC that something is going wrong now that we let it go. No. We have to collectively deal with this issue, Mr. Eastman.
Yeah, I got something brief for Francis. Francis, that's why I put your comment up, because we are willing to hear criticism. We appreciate criticism. But I also want to tell you that there's an old saying, if you're not part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. So by saying nothing and standing idly by is just as bad. What we're trying to do, we're trying to bring these things to light, to discuss them. And when we can, we offer solutions and we do it lightheartedly. Yeah. These things are important, but there are other things that are more important in life. So if you see us laughing, that may be hiding our tears. But the fact of the matter is, we are evaluating these things and bringing them for discussion so we can come up with the solutions. You've heard a whole lot of stuff today. We're not appointing the right people. We're not having we have a whole lot of organizations, but we don't measure their accomplishments. And this is part of, if you really want to know, the main thing is we are not measuring people work performance.
Eastman, you got a call. You got a comment call.
Okay. What?
Call. Your name and where you calling from, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon, my dear brother Jerome, and of course, brother Eastman. Great show, guys. It's good to grab the bull by the horn sometime. And I like the approach to the comment from Wilson. You know, you guys don't discuss the topic because I wasn't on for the beginning, but that has to do with the moral compass of society that happens to be the religious leaders. You know, if you were talking about Kafumba Kone, it was Kafumba Kone and of course Bishop Michael Francis. That indeed they stood their grounds and they defended the cause of the society over there from the religious perspective. Now, if you go back further, you recall in 1991 when the RGNU was constituted, it was Bishop Arthur Kula. Also Bishop, no, it was Bishop from the Lutheran Church that became the vice president, Dix, Bishop Ronald Dix. And then the church stood that indeed he cannot be a bishop of the Lutheran Church and be vice president. And Bishop Dix stepped down from that position. I don't know of the current composition, be it from the Islamic perspective, in this case, Ali Krai, or of course, Bishop Reeve from the, I think the Methodist or the Baptist Church, that they have been bought over. What are they going to say when there are ills in society? So it's disheartening, my brother. And you guys will have to, we all will have to continuously remind these people that those are not things that leaders should be buying them over. Not even the quote unquote in government they talk about for the Georgia government as a claim that went that miles to incorporate or hire the religious leader. He didn't do that. And you have a deacon who is the president right now that would not even think this through, but rather to start appointing these people and paying the taxpayers' money. Obviously, those people are going to going to answer to the women's and corporations. They're not going to be, balanced in terms of the ills of society. So, my dear brother, I think we got to continue to remind these people they will do the best either to step aside from the religious positions they're holding or to relinquish whatever position that God has offered them. But let me not take up your time, my brother. I just wanted to have my input on it, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And this is where we are. We have to stand for something. I understand Mr. Livingstone saying when we are in government, we praise the government. When we are out of government, we bash the government.
Yeah.
Okay. It is true that like me, I am not a seditious. Okay, I come from the UPP wing of the movement. I've supported the pro-poor government, the PAPD, because it's a document that we have all reviewed, and Baka Mafi endorsed that particular document. We knew that it could not have been implemented in 12 years, as we saw it from the beginning of that document. They said 2018 to 2030. That was the time for the review, and hopefully by then other folks will continue. So that's what it is. Yes, Mr. Livingstone, when you are not in government, when you are in government and the government is doing something good, you point it out and support it. If the government is doing something wrong, you point it out and criticize it. Mr. Eastman is a typical example Whatever the judge we have people did right, he praised. Whatever they did wrong, he condemned. And that's how it's supposed to be. And I do not want you to hide or us to hide behind anything. We have to start calling names. If your friend, like our friend here on this show, Mr. Coffee said he was a man from the financial investigative arm. He was by law and order. He was this, he was that. And everything. He went to Liberia. They put him on asset recovery. And he sat there and the people were trampling over people's rights. And he didn't say anything. The court has to get involved and say, no, this is not, go back and do it the right way. So this is why when I go to Liberia, I was telling it the last time, it's Eastman. So you mentioned you fellas, oh, there they go again. The educated people not count. They can't support their country. So these are some of the folks that make us undesirable when you get to Liberia. So you say from the United States, oh, the man can't look for a job. Oh, he can't do this. You see, one of the boys look at me and say, I know you were in Minnesota cleaning somebody behind you, come and looking for a job. You didn't even know who I was. But this is how disgusting the people are with us. They say you're not coming.
You were Miss Francis Vex again.
Yeah, they say you're not coming for cleaning people behind, and you're coming with all your B title. He didn't even know who I was. I didn't go there for a job. I'm talking about a month ago. I was in Liberia, but they think everybody working in the nursing home. And you leave from here, you want to go to Liberia to pay for your mortgage and your car and all of that. So that is the name. And our friends, when they leave from here, go home and don't perform adequately, we have to call them up to it. Mr. Eastman.
Yes, we will call them out. But you know, if we don't have a scientific, professional approach, let me land with this. If we don't have a systematic, professional approach, like appointing people who do not qualify, right away we have to know we're not going anywhere. It doesn't happen. The only people that raise people up from poverty are people who know what they're doing. They have a scientific, coordinated approach, attacking different sectors in the economy and in the society, and make them work together. Eventually, people rise up. But if you making ad hoc appointments, you setting up committees, and they don't know the procedure and the laws that govern their actions, you're not going anywhere. And we will talk about it. So until we start approaching everything we do in a systematic and scientific way, it's not going to work. People are way advanced. The people are not doing anything that we can't do, but we're not doing it professionally. We're not using data. We're not using experts. We're using friend. Friend can't help it because they don't know it. There has to be a period that we start teaching each other.
Mr. Eastman, before we go, we're going to address this issue over and over. We're going to death on Sunday. But the lady from the embassy, what she said, we discussed it the last time, when she said, no matter what, we take these guys to the United States, you train them at every agency, they graduated from all the top schools. When they get back to this country, it looks like she said, it looks like their CPU get erased when they get to our forget everything. What do you say about us? I mean, we got a couple of friends that were on our show here as panelists. They were experts. They are in Liberia.
The word is integrity. You know, I talked to a CEO. They wanted me to start working with them, and I will be working with them soon. And they asked me about my character. What is the foremost thing in your character? And I didn't even think about it. And there was one reverend that was there. And he said, well, what about integrity? I said, well, I didn't even think of that because I'm not going to change that. Even if I don't get this job, I will maintain my integrity. The word is integrity, my brother. Even when we get the job, if it's going to compromise our integrity, then we'll have to leave it. That is how you have to be. Okay. So, because there will be a strong resistance to ethics and your morality. It's a strong resistance. But we have it within us to bear that. And if it's something we can't bear, then we do not do that. But we do not compromise our integrity. Then we become the same. You know?
Excellent, excellent. Well, you know, the for Liberia's budget to go from 80% recurring expenses to 93, basically 93%, it is troubling. Liberia has only $57 million for capital investment, our human capacity development, infrastructure development. Almost 93% of the budget go to paying ourselves just to eat. Mr. Eastman, we are not going. Just imagine, to build 1 mile of road is $1.3 million. 1 mile.
That's correct.
And now here we are, the entire nation, we got only $57 million for everything. $200,000 to each county for development.
Yep.
Each county.
Yep, that's right.
So we
can't be doing. Who said it? We can't be doing the same thing over and over again. Yes, but it's true. It's true. This budget tells us we'll not do nothing. It's a do nothing budget. We're only feeding ourselves, and nobody wants to tie their stomach and say, you know what? I'll cut my salary. If Liberia will enjoy it, let me do it. Now nobody wants to make the sacrifice, but we expect different. Jerome, I know what time and far spent. I really appreciate you coming on the show as always. My partner in crime.
See you. We'll be here again Tuesday.
We'll be here again Tuesday. Let's talk about the latest and greatest. In the meantime, we never forget who we are.
But we will continue this on Sunday.
Yes.
On point.
On point.
We will be involved, get involved, send topics and ideas, comment, call in. The issues in Liberia, no one person, and I like when Joseph Waka said this, no one person has complete monopoly over the solution of Liberia. I wish you were acting that way. Nah. So nobody here has monopoly on ideas. If you have ideas on the show, on what we do, on topics, call in, send it in, come in. There's nobody here is an expert. You can come in on the show and be a guest panelist. We want everybody in.
Yes. That's what we want. But we are all Liberians, so we want all Liberians' participation.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home.